Well, you're joining us here on Greenbelt Radio tonight. With us is Steve Taylor. Now, Steve, some of your songs in the past have been known to be very strong about their message. You've made a point about definite statements. In your new album, which is called Babylon 1990, I do believe. No. What's it called?
I don't know. It changes titles every week, but I think it's called I Predict 1990 now again.
Well, how about the topics that you're covering in that album? Are they also forthright and strong?
Yeah, I mean, there's some topical songs on it, and there's, some more satirical songs, and there's a few more serious songs. So tomorrow night we'll try a few of them out, and.
So you're not going to give anything away about the things that you're covering?
Oh, I don't know. It's we'll wait until tomorrow.
I remember 2 years ago at your show, you talked about AIDS and about a girl who helped somebody on a clinic at AIDS, and I think you were very touched by that. What do you think about that sort of situation at the moment of the AIDS syndrome?
Well, I think that what she was doing was the proper Christian response. It's been interesting. In the United States, our Surgeon General, which is like the head doctor in the United States, is a guy who's been known as a Christian for a long time. Has been like a pro-life activist, and his name is C. Everett Koop. In fact, he even did a series with Francis Schaeffer before Francis Schaeffer died about abortion and euthanasia and things like that. And when he had to be confirmed by the Senate before he could take this position, and almost didn't make it because they were afraid of his, religious background. But he has been like one of the leading people as far as raising consciousness of what this disease is in the United States and dealing compassionately with it. And just to me a very good example of a Christian involved in society who is more concerned with human life and with doing things the way we think Jesus would do them than he is with, keeping the right wing in the United States happy or something like that.
Many people think that, some Christians in fact, think that AIDS is the punishment from God on homosexual and the mistreatment of sexual behavior. What's your views on this?
Well, I mean, I think for one that's quite a big jump to assume that some kind of disease is God's punishment, because there's certainly a lot of other things that don't go unpunished by disease, and I don't know if there's any disease that afflicts those who are greedy or those who don't have compassion on their neighbor or anything. So I think to do that kind of is categorizing sin, which Jesus didn't do. So I think that's kind of a reactionary thing. I personally don't know. I don't try and speak for God where God isn't clear in Scripture.
Since you started playing at Greenbelt, you've obviously risen quite high. You seem to have become quite popular. How do you cope with this sudden rise to fame?
Well, the limo picked me up, they dropped me off, and they're going to be back when I need them. So, in fact, it's getting a little hot in here. Could we bring in something to drink? No, I'm fine.
Everything's been going just fine, yeah?
Although there were like 30 or 40 people that put their coats down before where I walked, so I wouldn't get my feet muddy, so that was nice of them, yeah.
Now, I've often heard it said that you don't actually play any musical instruments. Is this true?
It's true. I played the trombone when I was in high school, but I sold it to go to a camp to learn how to sing, and a lot of good that did me. Now I do play guitar on one song, but that's more just because I look so cool when I put the guitar on, yeah. And I used to play the bass, but see, I was on like these bands, and the bands would break up because I was such a bad bass guitar player, so I've given up.
Steve Taylor on Radio Greenbelt, and of course performing a little later in the weekend on Greenbelt's main stage.